Okay, everybody, Neon here. So, admittedly, I discovered this kind of by accident after some typical internet browsing and some videos showing up in the recommended section. But it's still a pretty good thing to show up, and I'm glad I saw it. Being an anime fan myself, this was also a nice surprise to come across as well. So, here's that little project simply known as BUTA. I'm just going to make this clear right now. BUTA isn't exactly an anime series, nor is it an anime movie, although it does have enough material for it to make it one. No, this is just mainly an anime project created back in March of 2012 by Telecom Animation Film. I couldn't exactly find much information on it, so just bear with me on this. This review is going to be a little bit tricky. Alright, here we go. One thing you might notice rather quickly, it's the pacing. Since this is no longer than your typical 30-minute cartoon, it tries its best to scramble in a story that'll be more suited to an hour-long film, at the least. With this in mind, it can make it a little hard to figure things out, and things fly by way too quickly. Barely any characters in this really have any names, not to mention any development, so you can't really attach yourself to them rather well. Speaking of the plot, it's a bit hard to sum it up to a full standpoint, so I'll just say this. It follows two characters, a nameless kitsune fox, and a pig sword for hire named BUTA, and they go around on their own adventure. I can't say much more than that. Not because of spoilers' sake, but that's really what it boils down to. Still, I have to give credit where credit is due. Even for a simple project such as this, the world they put the story in is surprisingly well done. They take some time to put in extra details in the settings, and plenty of other characters do stand out in the world and appearance. I mean, this is a world full of anthropomorphic animals for a start, which opens the windows to plenty of different, albeit cartoony, designs for all sorts. There's a previously mentioned kitsune fox and pig, but there's also a raccoon, a weasel, a boar, a set of dogs, a cat girl, because anime, and a few other little extra details slipped in to expand on the variety. There's even a scene with a cute little bunny girl. How adorable. For the designs themselves, they all show a sort of kid charm to them, and it's pretty nice that they did not overdo it with the more realistic look. As for the characters themselves, there's only a main three that really come to mind. Of course, there's the title character BUTA, the nameless kitsune fox, and Torafuga, the main antagonist. Not very much, but we'll see what we can do. First, there's BUTA. BUTA is mainly your typical run-of-the-mill fighter, a very good one might I add, who works for money. He's given plenty of screen time in the regard and shows a number of personality quirks to go along with his typical tough outlook. Though personally I'm pretty sure this is just to get a laugh out of him, which actually kind of works. Some include him being a thief, not a fan of fighting, and him being scared to death of cats. Next is the kitsune fox. For the fox, being from a rather rich family, he's your typical childlike, spoiled kid, sort of the opposite of BUTA in a way. Him being a kid too, along with being a fox I guess, he does give BUTA a run for his money in some scenes, which also ends up being a bit funny. As for Torafuga, he's no more than just your typical greedy pirate out to get the kitsune's family treasure, and the main antagonist of this presentation. The only other ones I could think of is the previously mentioned cat girl, who's just helping for the sake of money, and a character named Dr. Tsurume, who turns the main bad guy ship into, I guess, a transformer. I don't know. The biggest flaw here would be that you want to know more, but you're not given very much. If it does shine in one thing, it's the witty dialogue and comedic moments of the characters, BUTA especially. Comedy here is pretty well done, especially around the end when things just start going haywire for what the heck is going on. The funniest moments here really come from BUTA himself, with his many remarks and reactions. Not saying none of the other characters are funny, but BUTA is the most noticeable when he's playing off everybody. As standard as anime would go, it's a rather typical watch, and nothing blown too much out of proportion with it. Concepts are kinda tossed aside, the moment at the start being a prime example, but with it only being 24 minutes long totally, I can see why it might have to do that, even if it takes away a thing or two. We don't really know what happened to Kitsune's dad, or why Buta's afraid of cats while he's totally fine with Cat Girl over here, or exactly how much time had passed within the presentation. It's really up to you on what happens, and if you want to actually fill in those blanks yourself. It's a decent sort of watch, really. I enjoyed it anyway. And you're free to watch it on a typical quiet day to get a laugh if you wish. Well, guess we're done already. There's not much more need to be said about this. Well, in that case, I'll see you all later. Neon out.